What up? What up? How you feeling, Marcus? How you feeling?
What's going on, everybody? Gene, what's going on, my brother?
What's popping?
Man, okay. Well, we already know that this whole NBA season's been a wild season. You know, from Brooklyn all the way down to LA, and the hottest thing right now is the Kyrie Irving story. You know, and I feel as though I haven't talked about it enough myself last week when we was you know doing the show. And the reason why I say that is because at some point the punishment doesn't fit the crime, if that makes sense to you. And the reason why I say that is because I think at some point they just started picking on this guy, bullying this guy into an apology that's, you know, not his opinion, and to me, if it's not going to be sincere and it's not what you believe in, I don't think he should have been bullied into making an apology. Basically, having 20 steps to go through just to get back on the court. Now, anybody can take that how they want to take it. I'm not saying what he did was right or wrong or anything like that. He has his beliefs, and if that's how he want to stick to it, all power to him. My whole thing is that he should have put some content behind his tweet. Is my whole thing. I never watched the movie, so I can't speak on it or anything like that. But my issue right now is the steps he has to go through just to prove he's not racist. I guess or anti-Semitic. I don't want to mix up the words when it comes to stuff like this because I know it's a hot topic. So that's my issue. I feel as though now he's being bullied into having his own opinion that doesn't flow right with the masses.
I mean,
Take on that.
no, I feel like that. So first of all, let me just first start by saying I don't agree with the list of stipulations that they gave Kyrie Irving, but I do believe he should have been suspended. And at the end of the day, look, I don't want to get into the ins and outs of is he anti-Semitic, is he not
Right.
anti-Semitic? Because at the end of the day, he's done a lot of really dumb things since he's been in the league. Kyrie Irving is not the model of excellence that you would like to look up to in the NBA. You have LeBron James for that. You have players that have done so much good outside of the league that you can look up to for a role model. It's not Kyrie. Am I upset that Nike cut his deal off? No. Am I upset he got suspended? No. I don't like the list of stipulations that they made for him to
Right.
come back to play. I think it should have been, hey, we're suspending you for 10 games, or we're suspending you for 5 games for these comments. At the end of the day, I'm not a Kyrie fan at all as a human being. I don't think he's a great person. I think
Okay.
he's constantly been in and out of you know in and out of the news for not wanting to play basketball. I don't think the guy wants to play basketball. I think he likes what basketball brings to his life.
Right.
But I agree with you in a sense. I think the punishment is weird. I think it's
It
very
is very weird, and that's pretty much my point. Now, you say the suspension. Okay, you give him 5 games, or if you want to say 7, just to kind of meet somewhere in the middle. Like I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's their industry. That's what how they see fit. You know what I'm saying? To punish something to that effect. Because we don't know. We never seen nothing like this in NBA. So I'm guessing they're trying to set an example. I think it's a wrong example that they're trying to set by putting all these stipulations on that man like that. And now everybody's gonna have their own belief. Everybody has their own set of religion that they live by or whatever, And just for him to be like this poster boy, for anti-Semitism or however you want to call it, whether he is or if he isn't, because we don't know. But what I'm saying at this particular point, if he apologized and he said, okay, everything should be good, you suspend him to 5 games or 10, however y'all feel is necessary. But the extra stuff that goes behind it, that's where I feel the bullying has come in. You know what I'm saying? Let him feel the way he feel, and then okay, you
You
said
look at it. You look at it as bullying.
I do because, like you said, if you just okay, you spend it for these 5 games or 10, you even say 10 games, I'm cool, whatever his punishment is. But when you say, oh, you gotta go speak to this person, or you gotta donate your money, or you gotta do this, then you gotta talk to this. I'm a grown man. At the end of the day, I play basketball. You know what I'm saying? Now, my religious belief or what I tweet or whatever is still my own opinion. Now, I get that you have a certain amount of followers that could interpret it, toward the Jewish community, a wrong doing. Like put fear in people, in the Jewish community. Like, okay, something could really happen to us if he's like really, really promoting this movie. Like I said, I never seen it, so I don't know what's in it, and I don't want to come off as, you know what I'm saying, like I'm on Kyrie's side when I'm not. I thought the suspension.
Oh no,
was
I don't
good.
think I don't think you're saying you're on Kyrie's side. My question to you would be this, and I might be the wrong person asking this question, but that's okay. I'm gonna ask it. If this was an Asian or a white player that said a racist or that retweeted a racist film, would you feel the same way?
If there's no content behind, like Kyrie did,
Yeah, just a retweet. I'm not talking
yeah,
about like a retweet a notorious. I would say like a racist film, because
mhm,
anti-Semitic is basically, you're speaking ill of the Jewish religion.
right.
So that's why. So like my question would be, do you feel like that your response would be the same if, let's just say, Kevin Love retweeted like a movie that was very controversial towards the African American community?
I think there would be some backlash to it, but if there's no content to why he's posting that, then I wouldn't. Now, here's the thing. For me, I'm a different type of fella. I'm not sensitive or desensitized to anything. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though you can't take one clip of a movie and then make it out to be what you want it to be. Like I said, he had no
Oh,
content behind it, so therefore we don't know. So I can, and now there was content behind it, and then they say, hey, well, you're anti-Semitic, even though he put content behind it. Then I could be like, okay, now you just reaching, because he gave you content, but there was none behind it. So I'm cool with the suspension and everything like that, and leave it at that. It shouldn't be no extra stuff to go along with it. Hey, you spend the 5 games, this what you believe, this what we believe. 5 games should suffice, and he apologized.
I
Same
feel
thing
you.
would happen. Yeah, same thing would happen if it was Kevin Love tweeting out something about roots.
Yeah, so like that was like
Yeah,
that's kind of like where I wanted to
right.
get into in the nicest way is like if
Mhm.
you retweeted that, like how would you and if your reaction's the same, if you feel like it should be a 5 or 10 game suspension,
Right.
no matter what the situation
Yeah,
is,
what
that's
the
fine.
situation is. Right.
I
But
respect the fact that you would have that um that similar discourse towards what was said.
right, and the
I
same
get that.
thing would go for Kevin Love. That give him 5, 6 game, whatever y'all see fit is the president going forward. I would say the same by everybody else, and just move on from the situation because you can't. Because at the end of the day, he believed what he believed, just like a Kevin Love will believe what he believed. You know, but at the same time, I know we're a basketball show, but the type of stuff that Brett Favre done is probably far more, I would say, more harsh than what Kyrie done without the content of his retweet, basically. But
I get
I'm
it.
gonna leave it with that. You know what
Look,
I'm
like I said, Kyrie
saying?
Irving has a long list of
Right.
things that I don't see fit with. I don't know if you knew about the whole situation that happened with him with the shop when he was supposed to be on the shop with LeBron James and it didn't air because of the comments that he said that were anti-Semitic on the shop. LeBron's basically came out and said that's the reason that the show didn't air is because Kyrie Irving said a lot of hateful things and he doesn't support hateful language on his show. So it's not, I don't think it's just a retweet. I think it's a steadfast belief that
Right.
he has.
That's what I think. He has a
And if
belief in
that's the
that.
case, man, like I don't really think there's any place for hate in the NBA, no matter
Right.
where it comes from. Like I didn't like Andre Iguodala's comments about Dante DiVincenzo. I didn't like them. You know what I mean?
I didn't even hear it, and that just goes to show you that I don't really pay attention to Andre Iguodala.
It didn't get publicized as much as it should. What he said was he's really good. I have this funny thing with white players. It's like, yo, it ain't too many of y'all that are really good, but he's good. I'm like, you're one of the white guys that actually belong at this level. I didn't like those comments, and that happened in early October. And my question, like where my head goes, is like, why does things have to, when you're talking about talented basketball players, why do things have to be brought back to us? I think that fans should be thrown out of the Garden when they have comments that notoriously racist in Boston. I think that they should be suspended forever, never be allowed back in an NBA game. And it's not just. I feel like there's no place for hate anywhere, and I'm all about a person's name and job being thrown out there if they do say something racist at a basketball game. So like I want to be clear. I don't. It's not one sided with me. It's anybody that says something that is out of pocket towards or hateful towards someone based on their race, religion, creed, whatever. I'm not okay with that. So I think the suspension should happen. I think that the stipulations are laughable at best.
Right.
It has to meet with a Jewish leader in his community. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop.
I'm with you in the same boat. I'd rather just enjoy basketball for who out there playing, especially if they playing for my Sixers. I'm rooting for them regardless.
I respect that.
You know, and they can go on about the Miles Leonard thing, how he got kicked out. Let's face it, Miles Leonard wasn't that good to begin with, so he pretty much helped himself out the NBA.
But in the same respect, whether he helped himself in or out of the NBA, there's still no place for it. I don't care if you're LeBron James or you're, Furkan Korkmaz. That shit's not welcome. And I mean that. I go from the top to the bottom, like probably the worst player in the NBA with Furkan Korkmaz.
I mean, he is a Sixer, so I might have to kind of disagree with that.
I'm a Sixers fan, bro. I just can't. I can't. I'm not a fan of his. He's a. Have you ever heard the expression of parking cone on defense?
Yeah, from Patrick Beverly himself.
He's a parking cone, bro.
He is.
But what's up, y'all in the chat? I appreciate y'all checking in.
Oh yeah,
Kyle Edwards, James Howell, Shakeback, what's popping? Ty Owens, how y'all feeling?
But since we are Sixers fans, you know what I'm saying, and I know it wasn't a topic for today in the sense of this, but since we're talking about it, I just feel as though I don't know if necessarily I'm not even a fan of Doc Rivers, but also think that it's not his fault that the Sixers are in the predicament that we're in now.
Completely disagree with you.
Okay, we can talk about it though. That's a good thing.
That's fine.
Because
you can start. You can tell me why you don't think he's at fault.
I'm not saying he's not. What I'm saying is I can't put the full blame on him because at a certain point you can only coach what you got. And my biggest flaw about this team, we're not deep in the positions that we need to be deep in, to really make a run at this thing. We really don't have a backup center. We really don't have a backup wing, wing player. And we're really deep at the point guard spot, but we also kind of small at that position. So it's like, what do you want him to do necessarily, especially when Joel Embiid just looks like he don't know what he's doing out there from night to night, it seems like. And I've been saying this for a while when it comes to him. I've never seen a big man hit the ground as much as he does. Like, why are you hitting the ground almost 6 times a quarter when you're that big? Like, just and it's not like you posting up all the time. Like, you're literally falling back, doing fadeaways, and he lands awkwardly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he don't know still in 7 years in the league how to pass out the double team.
All right, so let me ask you a question. What do you think that are and Marcus, I'm not trying to be smart when I ask this question. What do you think the responsibilities of a coach are? Like, if I gave you a few responsibilities, what would you place on the players and what would you place on the coach? Because it's very tough to have that debate. Like, our effort, do you put that on the players or the coach?
You put that on the players.
Okay. schematics, the way the offense that they run.
You put that on the coach.
Okay. So I think effort is a coach thing also.
Okay.
The reason I say that, I'm not talking about one player's effort. I'm talking about the entire team's effort. Inspired, feeling like you're in the right position, being able to get the most out of players. I feel like that's what coaches are for. Out of 32 teams in the NBA, where do you think the 76ers rank as far as loose ball percentage on the offensive end of the floor?
Probably 32nd.
The dead last.
Dead last.
Good call. On the defensive end, now keep in mind, loose balls on the defense end are normally higher percentage for the defense. On the defense end, loose ball percentage, where do you think the 76ers rank?
Dead last.
28th.
Close enough.
Okay. So I know you watch a lot of Sixers basketball. What type of offense would you say they run?
That's the thing. I can't tell.
I can. They're running a pick and roll constantly with Joel Embiid and James Harden at the top. James Harden's been hurt, so now they're running with Tyrese Maxey. They're having Joel Embiid set the screen at the top of the key, and they're having him roll off the screen and trying to create a very similar offense that James Harden ran in Houston, in which he had Clint Capella basically throw down the alley-oops, and he had Eric Gordon standing in the corner to catch the ball.
Well, see, that's the hard part because you don't see Joel running towards the rim after he sets the screen. You know what I'm saying? And at 8 times out of 10, when they call him like that, when he does set the screen, he's getting the ball so late in the shot clock that he's looking for the three, or that he has to pull that little one-step fade back, whatever he does, when it comes down to it. And that's my problem. It's like I don't see no.
Why would you not put that on the coach?
Because I don't think it's designed that way. If I look when he's not in the game, opposed to when he's in the game, when he's not playing, the offense seems to flow freely as it should. You know, because even when we had Ben Simmons in, when Doc started, we was first. I think we was first in the East when he took over coaching, and I think last year, we was third in the East last year, if I'm not mistaken.
We finished fourth.
Fourth, okay, I'm about to say that. Maybe fourth. And the offense, you know what I'm saying?
So all right, so what do you think Joel Embiid's plus minus is per game this season?
I have no idea.
He's plus 11.
I don't see that even being possible.
I'm telling you.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't.
He has one of the best plus minus. The reason his PER is always in the top 3 in the league is because he has some of the best plus minus in the NBA. I think that blaming on Joel Embiid is I'll tell you right now, if the 76ers don't make a move at head coach soon, Joel Embiid will be the next superstar to ass out of town.
I would agree. I would let him go.
What?
Yes, because
generational talent. You want to let him go for Doc Rivers?
He's not. No, I'd rather he could walk in so can Doc Rivers. My thing is, I don't
just restart, rebuild, just start over.
Yeah,
but all that talent, all that depth on that team.
Yeah, because there's no way. Because I think we overhyping with the Sixers, or at least Joel Embiid, just like with Ben Simmons. I thought we was overhyping their status. You know what I'm saying? Because for 7 years in the league, you don't know how to pass out the double team. You're averaging almost 5 to 6 turnovers a game. And a lot of that could be alleviated by him just knowing how to pass out the double team or know how to attack the double team. You know, and I think he's not, for some reason, I don't think he learned how to use his body to the fullest, you know, in order to dominate the game like he should.
Marcus, he was a back-to-back runner-up for MVP in the entire basketball league. His PER was number 2 years ago, and it's number 3 last year.
There's something to be said for, with all that, we're still being a second-round exit.
It's not him.
It's him because
no,
he can't stay healthy at the right times, and you have to, I don't care nobody say, you have to have some kind of basketball IQ in order to still dominate a game. And I don't think he plays to his full potential.
So give me a center that has a high basketball IQ.
I'm not even a fan of Jokic,
I knew you were going to bring up Jokic. That's why I brought it up. Who do you think averages more turnovers a game, Jokic or Embiid?
Embiid has to, because there's no way.
Wrong.
And then he don't even have the ball in his hand as much as Jokic do.
I'm telling you, bro. Jokic averages more turnovers per game. And just so you know, Joel Embiid has the second highest usage rate in the NBA the last 2 years.
That is crazy. And that's another reason why we're losing. I'm sorry.
Marcus, I don't mean to come and bother your opinions with facts. I don't want to do that to you. But I'm telling you right now, when the 76ers have a coaching problem.
No,
they have a serious coaching problem.
I'm not denying that.
And if you fire Doc Rivers and get the right person in town, you can be able. This team could be a championship team.
I don't know, because I think Brett Brown.
The depth is there, bro.
I think Brett Brown was doing a hell of a job as a coach before, when he finally got the talent around him to actually coach a basketball game.
I don't agree. I think that, but the issue with Brett Brown is Brett Brown and Ben Simmons are the reason we lost Jimmy Butler.
That could be true, but
that is true.
That could be true, but Jimmy hasn't shown me nothing outside of what he's done already.
What?
Like, okay, Jimmy's not a difference maker to me in that sense.
Did you watch last year's playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, he got as far as he's been getting. I mean,
he got to the Eastern Conference Final, Game 7, on his back, carried that Miami team to Game 7.
Yeah, I'm not taking that.
42 points on the road at the Garden, including a fall-away walk-off three-pointer in Jason Tatum's grill.
I'm not taking nothing away from Jimmy Butler. The Sixers chose to make that choice that they chose to make Tobias Harris over him. I don't even know if it was Ben Simmons necessarily, but I think that
they didn't choose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. That's a false misconception. That's a false misconception that Philadelphia sports fans think. They chose Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had no problem with Tobias Harris being here. Jimmy Butler had an issue with Ben Simmons, and I'll tell you the direct issue and where it started. Brett Brown, the entire year, was using Ben Simmons to facilitate the offense. And in Game 1 in the Toronto series, he just walked up to Jimmy. He's like, Jimmy Butler, you're going to run our offense. And they put Ben in a really awkward position, put him in the dunker spot the entire series, and made him non-existent. Now, listen, I think that they should have went earlier in the series and made that change at who's facilitating the offense, Jimmy instead of Ben. But the issue wasn't Tobias Harris. They chose Ben Simmons and Brett Brown. If they'd have fired Brett Brown and traded Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler would have signed the max here and been happy to play with Joel Embiid. One of the comments that they made about Jimmy Butler that happened behind closed doors, they asked Brett Brown if he thinks he can control him. And Jimmy Butler's like, oh, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm gone. And he said this, and this is coming out. My source is Jimmy Butler. He said this coming out of his own mouth on JJ Redick's the Three and the old man in the Three podcast. He said this out of his own mouth. This is what he said. He's already opened up about this situation.
Yeah, but you can also hear about his own mouth say they chose Tobias over me when they beat Philly last year, I believe. So you can take it how you want to take it. All I know is good riddance to Ben Simmons and good riddance to Jimmy Butler, because even without them last year, we were still number one in the East. So I can't go by that. What I could go by is my eyes, and what I could go by to see when we played Atlanta in that Game 7, all that wasn't just on Ben Simmons. Most of that was on Joel Embiid. 8 turnovers, going 7 for 21. So a lot of blame don't be put at his feet. But in 7 years in the league, you should have the IQ of learning how to pass out the double teams and not turn the ball over so much. You're not a guard. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind him taking 2 or 3 threes a game, but learn how to use your body at that size to dominate the game. Because you have Maxey, that's an upcoming star. You have James Harden. And to me, they don't get enough touches as far as the other players when he's on the court because they had to slow the game up, and that you
Okay.
can't play like that.
All right, Marcus, I'm gonna give you one last fact because you brought up Game 7, and I'm not trying to do this to you, bro. I
You
appreciate.
can. I'm not here to argue facts.
So you just said Joel Embiid in Game 7 was the issue and not Ben Simmons. I'm gonna just read you a couple stats off. Joel Embiid was 11 of 21 with 31 points, 11 boards, and 5 turnovers.
Okay, I do it somewhere in that range.
Oh, you said 21. He had 30.
Could I interject here real quick, gentlemen?
Can I give you the Ben Simmons stat
What's
line?
going on?
Can I give you the Ben Simmons stat line real quick?
You can go ahead, but I can tell you right now it's garbage because all his stat lines are garbage.
Ben Simmons had 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting with 13 assists, 8 boards, and 7 turnovers. Okay, cool. I apologize.
Yeah. No, you good. I was just gonna say, man, if your argument is who was a bigger bust during their time in Philadelphia, there's a clear contender. I would like him to be in the 8-0 Eagles of the problem, and that would be Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is a problem again in Brooklyn. Ben Simmons is garbage wherever he goes because he doesn't want to shoot the ball. I said earlier on the play callers how he is garbage. And the reason he is garbage is because he's lost all of it up here and he cannot even score. He's not even taking shots. And we talk a lot about guys that are all offense and play no defense, right? But you got a guy like Marcus' favorite point guard, Pat Bev. You got Ben Simmons. These cats can't shoot, right? So my thing is, if you're a defensive player, personal opinion, of course, I'm not trying to make this a fast personal opinion. If you're a defensive player and you go out and you hold the best player for another team to 20 points, right? If you only score 5 points, 0 points, 7 points, there's still a plus for the other team. Yeah. If you're a guy like a Kyrie who goes out and scores 30 and gives up 20, I mean, you're disappointed because he doesn't, and I'm just using this specifically because it's who we talked about earlier. There's several different examples of it. But if you can't make up the plus minus by your scoring, it's still a problem for your team.
No,
that was my thought.
No, you're absolutely correct. But my thing is, we know what Ben Simmons is and his deficiencies. You know what I'm saying? That's a given. But what we try to do is act like Joel Embiid doesn't have no weaknesses or stuff that he could be working on. Like, I never seen a man get sick as much as he do at the wrong time. Always. And he's always hurt at the wrong time. Like, how is that even possible? Like I said,
there is one other guy that gets hurt at the wrong time a lot.
Chris Paul, we know that too.
But I was thinking of a different person from him as well. I affectionately call him Street Clothes. I think you know who I'm talking about.
But let's switch to that right now because we know what the Sixers are, and we do. For everything you said, Gene, I'm still with you. I'm not a fan of Doc Rivers. I never was.
I can't allow the blasphemy of putting blame on Joel Embiid when there's 7 to 8 other situations I will put the blame on before I put it on the guy that runner-up for MVP the last 2 years. The guy dropped 31 in Game 7 versus Atlanta. The only guy that showed up in the series for Games 3 through 6 in the Miami series last year. There's no like, look, man, Tobias Harris being a max contract, there's an issue. Ben Simmons, there's an issue. Doc Rivers, there's an issue.
Yes.
James Harden having hamstring issues all second half of last year and being just a shell of who he was. There's an issue. Matisse Thybulle not being able to shoot. There's an issue. All those people are way more of an issue than what Joel Embiid is. Like, you want to take blame you want to take shots at our best player, and I get it. I understand. Like, he has his deficiencies, passing out of double teams and turning the ball over, taking contested shots instead of driving to the lane and being able to put it up at the basket. But with that being said, I promise you, you go through the NBA, you go through the entire NBA and all the superstars in the team, and I will find blame to any superstar that you mentioned, any single one of them. But Giannis can't shoot. Kevin Durant don't play defense. Steph Curry don't play defense.
Am I placing blame on him or am I holding him accountable?
You can hold him accountable, but do me a favor, hold the other 6 people accountable before you hold the only superstar we have in the city in the NBA, Joel Embiid. I don't want to run that guy out of town.
I do.
You do. You want to run him out of town?
If you're going to pacify him,
go back to the process. Then that's what you
because the process,
you want to run him out of town.
Yeah, if you're going to run him out of town, because at some point you got to stop babying this man and hold him accountable.
But hold on, Marcus. Can I ask you a question? I'm a little late to everything, but so I get holding him accountable. I completely agree because as the best player, there's accountability when you don't win, right? And that's for every team in the league, So I agree with that point. But okay, if you're attempting to get rid of Joel Embiid, who are you wanting to be the star player in Philadelphia for the 76ers?
I think y'all misconstruing what I'm saying because I gave you facts about Joel Embiid. I'm not running him. I'm just holding him accountable. After 7 years, you should be able to know how to pass out a double team. In 7 years, you should not be falling 8 times a quarter. You should be able to land at this time. You should know, your body at this point. What I'm saying is, and then how are you getting? You're constantly sick at the wrong times. You got sick in the Toronto series. You got sick the year before. Like, how are you getting sick at these times that we really need you? So are you
saying my man need to take some immune boosters, some MUC?
You know what I'm saying? And then when you're on, I'm not blaming them for everything. What I'm saying is, I'm only pointing out what he could do better that would help the team be better. Because if he turn the ball over less, we're good. If he stopped flopping, half the time, we can get back on defense. Now we're playing 4-on-5. And then if we don't have to wait for him to slow jog up the court half the time, we can run the offense better. So it's stuff he can be in better condition too. That's all I'm saying. I'm not really blaming him or trying to run him out of Philly. What I'm saying, I'm holding him accountable because I know the talent that he has. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't sit there and place the blame at Tobias. We already know that. We already know that was a bad contract. We all know that.
Okay, so
but you still at one point though, and I say this as an outsider for this particular team, you still have to be like, all right, this dude is getting a max contract. Right. So if he's getting a max contract, he needs to play like a max contract player. And if he can't play like a max contract player, that's a problem.
I'm with you. But will I rely on Tobias Harris to play up to? No. That's on Dan Morey or L. Brand, whoever you want to put that on. I'm not disagreeing with you that we have flaws, but what I'm saying is if our best player learns to do the little things better, I think we'd be in a far better position. Because you don't make it to the first seed and the fourth seed back-to-back years and back-to-back runner-up for MVPs if it's all coaching. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case,
it is all coaching.
But then he went. That's what
I would say. A huge part of it is definitely coaching.
Right. So therefore, Doc Rivers doing something right.
No.
For Joel Embiid to be first, to be the first seed year.
I'm with Gene on this one.
He's doing. I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. Let's not twist my words.
I don't think Doc Rivers is doing anything.
Having one of the best. First of all, obviously they have a max payroll. They make big trade line move by bringing in James Harden. Right. You have Harden, Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Embiid. Even coming off the bench, now you got Montrezl Harrell, DeAnthony Melton. Like that team is loaded, bro.
We're not loaded in the spots we need to be loaded at, but we do have a good.
Where are we not loaded?
Because we do need the backup center still.
Montrezl Harrell.
He's not a backup center.
Yes, he is.
I don't think folks realize that man's like 6'7".
6'9", but yes.
I don't know if he's 6'9".
He is 6'9". And in this NBA, 6'9" centers are becoming way more.
Like he just doesn't seem like a 6'9". And then you still need a backup shooting guard too, because mostly we got more guards than we have anything. Like
I'll say this:
you got Harden, and then you got Milton. He doesn't play Shake, which I think Shake should get more playing time. I'm cool with Niang playing, but we still need a backup wingman and we need a backup center. We're too loose in that position when we really need it. If Joel if he go down, we don't have nobody but Paul Reed and Montrezl Harrell. You can't rely on them, you know what I'm saying, throughout the course of the night like that. So no. We need
I'll say this. Doc Rivers has been riding off the coattails of that Boston Celtics championship
Facts.
for a long time.
Yo,
I'm with
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So my thing is, he's most of the problem. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's 100%, but if we're talking about a pie chart, like you get one piece of the pie that's not him, the rest of that pie is him.
Facts.
That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that was happening in Brooklyn, to a lesser degree because you have more overall talent, as y'all talked about. But the same thing when you get rid of Doc, you get a guy in there who really knows how to use those pieces correctly, the correct ways, the correct schemes and different things, the correct plays, the correct rotations, and really putting that work and time into it. You will see the Philadelphia Sixers be better when it counts because they have enough talent to do it in the regular season. But when it counts, that's when they fall short.
No, I agree. Like I said, I was never a fan of Doc Rivers, but while he's there, it ain't like he's been a bad coach. You know, you can say some of his substitutions are wild, but
I mean, he's been marginal at best.
He's been okay. He's done better than some other coaches because you just don't be first in the East and fourth in the East if you're that bad of a coach.
See, that's why I disagree because he's a regular season coach.
That's fine.
You put him in the playoffs, he's garbage. And there is no regular season awards that people care about. If you're the number one seed for 5 years in a row and you never get to a championship or win a championship, you're still not a good coach.
You definitely know there's definitely a coach. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, there's only one team winning at the end of the day.
Why don't we ask a question real quick before we go forward is who we'd like to see replace Doc Rivers?
Now, that's my thing. I'm not on the Ime Udoka train, but I would definitely love to see Sam Cassell or Mark Jackson get a chance.
Damn, man, you took both the names out of my head.
he's a thief, man. He took mine too.
Bro, I make bucks like Milwaukee because like Sam Cassell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I could definitely
think Sam would be very, very good in that particular position. What's going on, Lennon?
Right.
Lennon. I really wish we would never let Monty Williams get out of the building, man. He was in the building. He was right there.
He was.
You know who else? My man, I can't remember Quinn. What's his name? Quinn
Ewers. I would love Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, he was
not the dude. So I was thinking about him, but the
Snyder,
dude was Snyder. Yeah.
I'm thinking the Texas quarterback, bro. I got college football in my head.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Quinn Snyder.
Yo, and
he would be another good one.
Another one I think that is a very good coach, is very underrated, is Willie Green. He's in New Orleans right now.
I like Willie. I do like Willie.
I do like Willie, man, because he's showing what he can prove in New Orleans. He once upon a time was a Sixers, baby. So they know what he can bring to the table. But, another topic we can.
Good question, G. It's a good question.
Thank you, sir.
Now, for me, I'm gonna phrase this question like this because I feel as though, this one player is overly hyped all the time. Overly hyped. And I think he has more, street clothes and designer wear than AD. And that's Kawhi Leonard. I ain't never heard nobody on Kawhi Leonard for missing as much games as he does without a major injury.
What?
He had surgery last year.
Tore his ACL.
Yeah, he's had knee problems since he was in San Antonio. It's the same leg.
No, last year he had a major injury. But prior years it wasn't no major injury where he's missing as many games as he's missed.
But Marcus, you have to understand the reason why it wasn't a major injury is because he was setting games. He's had a problem with his knee and that leg since he was in San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? So this is not like a guy that's getting back hurt this week, ankle hurt this week, neck hurt this week. I got to miss 20 games because of this. This is like a recurring injury for him that he's figuring out a way to try to play through the best he can to help his team. So I give him a little bit more of a pass because it's a consistent injury and he's managing it and trying to work through it versus a guy like Anthony Davis who, some sweat getting in his eye, he's out for 15 games. I don't put them in the same category. That's me personally. Now, if you want to say he misses games, then yeah, he does miss games.
At least
but it's managing.
When he get hurt, I never really seen Kawhi on the court then get hurt. Like, when is he getting hurt?
What? When
is Kawhi actually getting hurt during the game?
When he tore his ACL.
like when did he get hurt during a game? Like
He got
at least you
hurt
can say
in the.
at least Anthony Davis is gonna play about 5 to 6 games before he gets hurt.
He got hurt with
2 to 3
5
games
games to play in the 2020 season when he tore his ACL.
I don't know if that was 20. That was a COVID thing. That was in the bubble.
No, the bubble was 2019, 2020. I'm talking about 2020, 21.
Last year.
No. 2019.
The year before that.
Yeah, he ain't play. He ain't play last year at all.
Correct. The year before that, with 5 games left in the season, he tore his ACL.
But
he had been playing. He had been playing up until he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
He has been or he hasn't been.
He had been playing up until he tore his ACL. So you got to realize. So you got to realize that we're talking about a major. So we're talking about a major injury here. We're not talking about some guy who falls on the ground and then his butt bone is broken and he got to miss 20 games for that. Then he comes back, lands on his ankle wrong. He got to miss another 15 games. He comes back from that and he gets some sweat in a gland and then he gets an infection and he's out for the rest of the season. I mean, obviously I'm being a little ridiculous, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
Anthony Davis is consistently anything, like any little thing, this dude is out.
Right.
If we were talking about like Anthony Davis with a major injury and it's still bothering him, it's recurring, I wouldn't call him street clothes. I call him street clothes because he has the most minor injuries that cause him to miss games like they're major injuries. That's why I call him street clothes. That's why Charles Barkley calls it street clothes.
But Kawhi Leonard can also be put in that same category, even though
no, he can't. You're not listening. All you're looking at is games missed. You're not looking at the reasons why. You're not hearing anything that I'm saying to you, Marcus. You've already made up your mind before you got on this show that Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis are the same, and if nobody agrees, then they poop, and that's fine, but it's not right.
No, what I made up my mind is that they both be street clothes, regardless of how you want to put it. I made up my mind that okay, he had a major injury last year, but the prior years to that, he had no major injuries, and he had
the recurring knee problem.
That's what
it's a recurring problem. It was a recurring problem.
Say it's recurring problems on his knee.
Marcus, can I ask you a question? I don't know you. I've talked to you twice. I've talked to you twice. So I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Are you a LeBron James fan?
Of course,
not necessarily.
Okay. It sound like you're a LeBron James fan.
No, I only defend LeBron because everybody else seems to knock on him. But no, if Freddie's not on, I won't talk about LeBron James in a second.
The only reason I bring that up is because most LeBron James fans like to bring up Kawhi Leonard's injury history. I don't know why.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because since he won that ring in Toronto, he has seemed to be the next big star that hasn't fully accomplished to his ability. You know what I'm saying? Because
I agree with.
He's not on the court.
I agree with.
Yeah,
that I agree with.
He's not on the court. Now, whether you want to say it's a recurrent injury, go for it. But that's not what I'm saying. He's not on the court.
I will say this. That was one of the most embarrassing series I've ever seen in my life, was when they were up 3-1 versus Denver in the bubble and lost that series. I never will forget that series. I watched that series.
Nor will I.
And I watched that series, and I was so floored how Denver ran. Mike Malone ran the same offense every possession. Pick and roll through Nikola. Pick and roll through Nikola. Pick and roll through Nikola. They were running that set so much, they started Kawhi Leonard sticking Nikola Jokic. So if they ran the pick and roll, they could switch off of it. It was so embarrassing.
Him and Murray was murdering them.
That's what
I enjoyed it so much. And the best part about that was the interview that Jamal Murray did when they were down like 3-2. And he was like, and everybody was packing their bags like they was going home. And then he was like, F that. And he unpacked his bags like, I ain't going nowhere. And they went out and won the rest of the games.
They did. But again, from there on, you really haven't seen Kawhi Leonard play like that. And
now, if
he has suited up. He has suited up. If
that's your angle, I'll give you that. If that's your angle,
what I'm saying is,
I'll give you that.
For some games, he gets a little tweak. He's out for a couple games. Play a couple more, gets a tweak again, out for a couple games.
Are you talking about AD?
If you want to say, well, you coming back, like, what's the reason that you came back? What's the reason that you're out this time around? Because you had almost a year and a half off. When you came back, you came off the bench in your second game, and then you're still missing games.
I will judge Kawhi Leonard at the end of this year, seeing how they use him. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure if they're working him in or trying to get him I'm not sure
like
100% what they're doing.
I feel like you got to get him like in basketball shape. And to Marcus's point, he has had to sit out some games or whatever. It's the similar thing that's happening with Jamal Murray in Denver. He'll play a couple of games, then you're getting back into the grind, so you have to sit, rest. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you don't tweak anything else with while you're rebuilding the game muscles in the affected area. So I think that's what you have going on. But I will give it to you, Marcus, if you want to say like there was a point where people were trying to say he was the next guy and he was taking over for LeBron, and then he can't stay healthy. So I will give you that if that's how you coming.
Well, I'm also
from that
from the Klay Thompson standpoint. If you're just out there for your team, not really giving you much, but you out there still playing for your team.
Yeah, but Klay Thompson has the luxury of having one of the best point guards, I guess you want to call him a point guard of all time, playing beside him.
Yeah, but he got Paul.
Everyone doesn't have that. Everywhere else doesn't have that luxury. Paul George is not Steph Curry. Let's not do that.
He has another.
That's what we can't do. I don't care. He is not Steph Curry.
That can take up some slack on him. So
Paul George and Steph Curry do not belong in the same breath, the same area code, the same.
It's not necessarily that because
that's all I'm saying.
He's capable of averaging 25. So
okay, Steph Curry is capable of winning games by himself. Paul George is not.
Paul George is proving that right now. So it's not like he's
not winning by himself.
It's not like he has a scrub next to him. So we can make the argument
by himself.
Kawhi should be getting about as much treatment as street clothes AD because they both seem to be missing games.
Y'all brought Klay up. I just wanted to make sure y'all heard that press conference he had when he was responding to Barkley, right? I've never felt for a player more than I felt for Klay Thompson.
I didn't hear that one. I heard about it, but I didn't hear
it. Charles Barkley was saying Klay's been slipping. He's not the player he used to be, and this and that. And Klay Thompson got on there and they asked him about it. He's like, of course I'm not. I had two season-ending injuries back to back. Of course I'm not. You have no idea how hard I'm working to get back to where I was at.
You heard the pain. You heard the pain in his voice. Like,
I felt it.
Right. I felt it too because bro. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. At least he's out there trying to do it for his team. Like he came back off the injury just like Kawhi did, but Kawhi.
But see, here's the thing, Marcus. Here's the thing. Klay Thompson is a different person from Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard's going out there playing a couple of games and he's like, the knee's not feeling right, bro, I need to sit. You know what I'm saying? Then that's what he should do. Because what is he going to do? Go out there and overplay so people don't say, oh, he's missing games, and then he ends up with another major injury? That's not what you want. So that's what he needs to do.
If you're going to keep playing scary like that, you're going to constantly stay hurt.
That's not.
You're not building your muscles.
It's listening to your body. If your body tells you, bruh, how do you gonna tell that man he's not listening to his body?
You're not building up to play an NBA game.
Marcus, hold up. How can you say that someone is not listening to their body? That's what I want you to explain to me.
I'm coming from the context of what you just said. If he's going to act like he's going to go out there and get hurt.
I didn't say act like he was going to go out hurt. Listen to the words I said. Maybe something got lost in translation. What I said was, I think it did. Based on your comment, I think it did. What I said is if you go out there and you're playing, whether it's 1 game, 5 games, 10 games, and your knee's not feeling right, then you go sit down, get treatment, and get that injury right. You don't keep playing so somebody won't say, "Oh, you play a few games and you sit out a few games." If that's what you got to do to get yourself back, that's what you got to do. Now, if you're Klay, I'll give Klay props because Klay has been out there grinding. There's probably some games where Klay should have sat that he didn't. So I'll give him props for that. The toughness that he's shown, I'll give him props for that. But everybody's not Klay, and I'm not going to hold everybody to what Klay did.
No, I'm not going to hold everybody. If that's the case, don't even come back until you're fully healthy. Don't even give
Brett
it a go.
Is killing it in the comments, bro.
Don't even give it a go.
But how is he gonna ever get healthy if he don't come back and get some playing time in the game?
That's where you're getting lost in translation at, because if you try to go, then you can't go. You should just stayed out. So don't come in for 1 game.
What do you mean? You should have stayed out. What?
And then come off the bench.
You're saying opposite things. You just said, "Oh, you should go out there and play." Now you're saying, "Oh, don't play if you're not 100%." How do you know you're? But how do you know you're not 100% unless you go and you try?
Exactly. So if you're going out,
so if you're trying, then it doesn't work. What? Oh, shame on me for trying.
Don't go out there and just say, "Look, I'm not feeling it. Let me get another week or 2 and see if I come back." Don't come out there and say, "Oh, bring me off the bench."
But then when he does that,
then
then you talk about he's street clothes Davis Jr. when he does that. So
Yeah.
so how can he win?
That
doesn't make sense what you're saying.
He is street clothes junior because he's not playing. He's not available. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't be like, oh, it's the same nagging injury. Okay, if you know it's the same nagging injury, do something about it for you to step back on the court.
Marcus,
what do you think? Do you think he's sitting in his off time and just sitting and chilling and not trying to get his leg right?
I don't know.
We need to have this conversation after the All-Star break. You're talking about 11, 12 games into an 82-game season.
Yes, I am.
First year back,
back
from an ACL.
I'd rather struggle like Clay and be there for my team than be like, I think I'm better than the team just by sitting out. I might tweak.
Bro, you're better than the team by sitting out, bro. You're doing a lot of assuming that you know, like you Kawhi's homeboy or something.
But y'all doing a lot of assuming that y'all know Kawhi, just like me.
I'm not doing any assuming that I know Kawhi. I'm saying if you're an individual and you get injured and you try to come back and you're not in the injured body part doesn't feel right, when you try to come back, then you say, oh, I'm not right yet. Let me go sit and get right. Then, oh, I'm feeling better. The doctors have cleared me. Let me go try. Oh, I go try again. It's still not right. Oh, let me go sit and get right. What you're saying is, oh, if you do that, then you're not tough and you're not doing the same thing that Klay Thompson did. And you should be doing like Klay Thompson. Again, everyone's not Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson might be a mutant when it comes to healing. He might be a guy that can heal and be good like that. It doesn't mean everybody is. And as I brought up Jamal Murray, there's several other people as well that have been injured that are coming back, playing a few games and sitting out. Giannis is sitting out a few games. Why? Because he's feeling injured,
bro.
But see, that's the thing. At least Klay's out there, and then he's trying.
At least he
could be garbage. He might not be the same Klay, but he out there
missed 2 straight years.
So,
but if he blows out if he gets another ACL out there because he's just out there playing, then what are you gonna say?
At least we knew how he blew out his ACL. He out there playing. We don't know how Kawhi got hurt.
Marcus.
We haven't known how Kawhi
blasphemy.
What play have you looked on the basketball court and say, hey, this is where Kawhi blew out his ACL? I mean, prior to him blowing out his ACL. What play had you say that, okay, this is where...
Back when he was in San Antonio... Never mind. I ain't even...
Because we can go back to that Petula step.
Blasphemy.
We can go back to that Petula step and be like, all right, okay, maybe there's a problem then. But we're not giving him the same credit that we give to Anthony Davis. At least you know Anthony Davis is hurt on the court. He's out there playing. He might get his toe stepped on.
He's out there playing.
He is playing. You can be like, all right, he hurt his
what
right here.
Team are you watching? Are you in a different universe?
Yeah.
Are you in a multiverse? You on Earth 2 or 3 or something? You're not on Earth 1 with us, bro.
What game can you pinpoint and be like, hey, okay, Anthony Davis got hurt on this play in the basketball game? You can say that
several times.
That's what I'm saying. We're saying
you can say that about Kawhi when Kawhi got hurt.
No, you can't. You can't pinpoint when Kawhi hurt.
Yes, you can.
No, you can pinpoint when he tore his ACL. You can pinpoint.
You can pinpoint when he originally hurt his leg. He originally hurt his leg in San Antonio. The last time he hurt it was when he went up for the jump shot. Dude stuck his foot under him. He came down wrong, twisted his ankle, and his knee bucked. His knee bucked.
That's the last time. But
that's not when he tore his ACL though. That's when he originally hurt the knee.
What I'm saying is when he tore his
ACL.
So
I just pinpointed it for you. You said I can't. I just did.
Even between that time, he still.
So that's not right now.
Even between that time, he still played in Toronto, and he was missing.
But that's not right now. Because of the injury in San Antonio.
I want to make a statement for you real quick. I'm gonna stop. I can't keep talking about this. It's just we're going wild on one topic that you're wrong on, and it's okay. But Anthony Davis, since they won the bubble championship in 2019, has played 36 games, 40 games, and 10. Bro, stop.
What am I talking? I'm just trying to say the same thing about Kawhi Leonard that I'm saying about Anthony Davis.
What season-end injury did Anthony Davis have?
I don't know. I can't.
He didn't have one.
I never.
He might miss 25 games with a hangnail.
Right. I agree with you, but what I'm saying is, Kawhi Leonard is in street clothes just like Anthony Davis is in street clothes. However you want to make that, however you want to spin it, that's on you. But they're both missing games. You can spin it how you want to spin it. They both in street clothes.
Next topic, man. Next topic.
They should be.
Kyle is hilarious. According to Marcus, how dare you, Grant Hill, miss games after playing with a broken foot?
Well, that's different. Now, hold on.
Not different.
Oh, no, it's not different.
Even before you go there, Grant Hill was one of my favorite players before he got hurt.
Oh, I got you. So if it's one of your favorite players, it's different. I got you.
I wish he hadn't had the injuries he had. We probably would have been talking about him in the different light.
Talk about street clothes, Grant Hill.
So that's different.
So that's the thing, Gene. I understand now. If it's a guy he likes, it's different.
Well, no, because
I understand.
You can't sit there and say that because
you just said it. You just said it's different. Your words.
I don't have to like him. Just
your
like
words.
Zion, just like Zion wasn't always in street clothes, but that's not the topic that was on hand. So we can keep going to who's always in street clothes because they're not playing the 82 or even the 65 game schedule. They're just not doing it. So take it how y'all want.
I like the Zion call. I like that.
Right. So we can take that how we want to.
I got money on Zion winning comeback player of the year this year.
We can do that.
You can probably get paid for that.
But since y'all want to move on, we can move on to the next head coach of the Nets, which is Jacque Vaughn. Am I saying his name correctly?
Jacque Vaughn.
Jacque.
Yeah. Yes. Now, for me, I know he's been given a Effie hand in Orlando when he was coaching them. You know what I'm saying? They've been in the process just about as long as the Sixers been in the process. And if not longer.
They've been in the process since Shaq left.
Right. I think had T-Mac and a couple good players, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, all them good boys. So, but I think him being the Brooklyn Nets coach right now is a great thing for him because he got the pieces around him. He's a different voice in the locker room, and I think he could get Kevin Durant back to the level that people think Kevin Durant is.
It's not Kevin Durant's the problem, bro.
And I'm gonna let y'all have this. I'm not a Kevin Durant fan. I think
Kevin Durant's not the problem, though.
That's your opinion. You can go ahead.
No, that's a fact, bro. How do you do this? How do you constantly do this? Kyrie Irving isn't playing and has 4 points the first game that Jacque Vaughn. Ben Simmons is triple single. They got nobody else on the damn court, and Kevin Durant's averaging 30 a game. And you're going, that's the guy averaging 30 a game. That's the problem.
I didn't say it was a problem. I just said he was overrated. I didn't say he was a problem. So I'll let you have your opinion.
Overrated. I said what? And by the way, I think he's overrated too. Most people have him as the first or second best player in the world. I think he's fifth. That's overrated.
I put him in the top 10, but I'm not putting him fifth. I'm not putting him in the top 5.
Give me 5 players in the NBA that you would take over Kevin Durant right now.
Pat Bev.
What?
Stephen Curry. LeBron James. I had this conversation before. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking Embiid. Hell, I'm even going to take Jokic over.
Did you say you're taking Embiid? You were just running him out of town a minute ago.
I ain't running him out of town. I'm just holding him accountable. 2 different things.
You said you'd be happy if you left.
Hell, I'm even going to take Russell Westbrook over Kevin Durant. I don't even like
Kevin Durant is averaging 31 points a game, 6.5 boards, and 5.5 assists.
Good for him.
And he's the problem in Brooklyn?
No.
He's overrated. You say call it what you want to call it.
I will say this. The part of the problem.
And I'm arguing about burner account Durant.
I'll say this. The part that Kevin Durant is going to habitually be blamed for is being the architect of the team.
Agreed.
That's the part that he could be blamed for. You know what I'm saying? With Marcus, just sit there and say, Pat Bev, bro, I know you playing.
Yeah,
but
Gee, you taking it serious too. Like,
no, I knew you weren't serious about Pat Bev.
You can't be serious about Pat Bev.
I'm not.
Go ahead, G. Go ahead.
It's just like you got a guy that had a 29-point triple-double for his last game he played. He's single-handedly the only good player on the team right now.
Let me put this in context for you, G. That and I'm always going to say things that people might not like or agree with. Just like I think before Clay got hurt, I think he was better than Steph Curry. He just don't get no shine.
He's a better all-around player. I won't argue that with you.
Yeah, and just like I think that Andrew Wiggins didn't get enough credit for their championship run. That's just me.
That's fair.
Then again, for Brooklyn, Kevin Durant's only overrated in the standpoint for me is that everybody's always trying to make somebody, the next thing when they're clearly not. Because outside of Golden State, he won his 2 championships. I'm not knocking that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm quite sure that us three, Steph Curry and Clay, can go beat up on LeBron James and J.R. Smith. I'm sure of it at that time. But
I would love to have a ring.
Outside of that, he hasn't really done nothing in Brooklyn. What has he done in Brooklyn? You'd be like, okay, like he's the first best player or he's a top 5 player.
He's the top 5.
First year he was hurt. First year was hurt. The second year he came back out in the second round. The third year, last year, bounced in the first round. And then this year, I think they're tied with us. What are we? 5 and 7?
So you're not telling the full story.
I'm
gonna help you tell the full story.
Yeah, what am I missing?
So 2 years ago, when he was bounced in the second round, he was James Harden didn't play the whole series. Kyrie Irving didn't play the whole series, and he was basically playing by himself versus the team that went on to win the championship. The Milwaukee Bucks won the championship.
But he got bounced in the second round, right?
In 7 games by himself.
But did he get bounced in the second round?
So let me ask you a question real quick.
That's the full story.
Do you give LeBron James a pass when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love got knocked out and he had to play the Warriors by himself?
No. That never came out of my mouth.
Okay, so he lost in the finals then, right?
I mean, he lost.
Yeah, it was his fault they lost, right?
Yeah, because I think when they got out, I think they was up 2-1.
No.
So he had enough help at that time.
No, not with Kyrie and Kevin Love both getting hurt that year.
I think they was up 2-1.
Oh, they weren't. They lost 4-1.
No, I think the previous year they was both hurt. And then that year, 2016's year, they won. The year before that, they was both hurt. I think they was up 2-1. And then the year after that, Kyrie left.
LeBron James averaged more points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks than any other person in that entire series. The year Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. It was one of the best single person performances I've ever seen in my life. I cannot put that finals loss on LeBron James. I watch basketball with my eyes, Marcus.
Me too.
Kevin Durant was unbelievable in that Bucks series. Unbelievable. You cannot blame him because the other 2 best players on the team were out with injuries. You can't do that. Like
yes,
you
I
can't.
can.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I hold the ball to the same standard, just like I'm holding Embiid and Ben Simmons to the same standard when we got beat by the Hawks by Trae Young.
But to Gene's point though, you have to look at the fact that, like he said, it was Kevin Durant and then a bunch of dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like I said earlier, best player you lose. Some of the blame has to go on the best player because he's the best player. But if you look at his individual performance in that game, he was playing the most defense I've seen him play. He was thugging it out there.
Bro, he was.
And I mean, they lost.
If he had a half of his size less sneaker, they win that series over in Milwaukee. He had his tippy toe on that line. Oh, and that was game winner versus tying the game. Bro, Kevin Durant was not the issue.
Listen,
now, the issue I have with Kevin Durant is the GM. It's the same issue I have with LeBron James, the GM. I don't like that. The architect of the New Jersey Nets or Brooklyn Nets, I want Steve Nash. I want Kyrie Irving. Give me James Harden. Trade James Harden for Ben Simmons. Like, I don't like that version of Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant's the softest superstar we've ever seen in the history of the NBA. Talking about a guy that had multiple burner accounts defending himself. Like, he's a fraud, bro. As a human being. I don't like Kevin Durant, and you're making me defend him by saying like weird comments.
I'm not making you defend him, just like I wouldn't defend nobody that I don't believe. I'm just not going to do it. The fact is, he lost. Plain and simple. The fact is, LeBron James lost. Plain and simple.
Okay.
We can spin it with anything. Maybe if he had Kyrie and Kevin Love, maybe he wins 3 out of 4 championships in Cleveland. We don't know. So I can't go there. All I know is the fact is he lost. Should he be a size 12? Maybe. But he lost. So therefore, I'm not going to sit there and play the what-if game. The fact is, Steph Curry's a 4-time champion. Draymond Green's a 4-time champion. Klay Thompson, 4-time champion. LeBron James, 4-time champion. Kevin Durant, 2-time champion. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But what I'm saying is, outside of Golden State, he hasn't proven nothing. Plain and simple.
I will say this, though.
Oh, go
Outside
ahead,
of Chicago, Michael Jordan improved shit.
You preaching to the choir.
It was sarcasm.
He didn't catch that at all. I'll say this. To me, with Kevin Durant, this is the problem personally I have with Kevin Durant. You talk so much sugar honey iced tea about LeBron going and teaming up with you know what I'm saying, with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. You were spitting hot flames on that man name. And then you went and did the same thing.
You wouldn't want to get away from Westbrook, though.
It's not about getting away from Westbrook, Gene. I feel what you're saying. Like, the more we see of Westbrook, like over time, you're like, all right, that might not be as bad a move as we felt at first with him for making that move, right? Because at first you're like, oh, why you do the Brody like that? So and after a few years of seeing Westbrook kind of by himself, you're like, yeah. But I think the thing is the choice of team that he went. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with anybody saying, I don't have a problem with anybody saying, I don't want to play with this dude no more because he a ball. You know what I'm saying? That's your prerogative. I'm fine with that. But when you go join one of the best teams of all time and win championships, I'm sorry. In my mind, those championships got asterisks. That's just me.
For which one? For Kevin Durant? And Golden State?
Kevin Durant's championships have huge asterisks on them.
Yes. Because they proved that they won without him. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is
before he was there and after he was there.
Like I said, he won his while it was LeBron and J.R. Smith running me. We could do that, like seriously. Think about this for a second. If y'all want to know context,
running mates matter now when we talking about Durant's championships.
Let's put this in context.
They didn't matter when Durant.
Just so everybody knows, we're gonna put this in context for everybody. They swapped out who they went with. They won
Wiggins for Durant.
They swapped out Harrison Barnes for Iguodala. One. They swapped out Iguodala for Kevin Durant. One. Swapped out Kevin Durant for Andrew Wiggins. One. There go your content.
That's not what really happened, though.
So
Jordan Poole, Gary Payton. There's a lot of players.
That's the Marcus Magic.
Prove me wrong. Look who they swapped out.
We got Gene, we got Freddie Facts and we got Marcus Magic. This is Marcus Magic.
So all they did was just swap out their wing players and they still won.
That's not all they did, Marcus. Did Jordan Poole play a role at last year's championship? Did Gary Payton too play a role in last year's championship?
Nah.
What? They didn't play a role?
I mean, they won the title, but
no need for it.
No, because I'm not going to let y'all discredit Andrew Wiggins for playing the role that he played.
No one
nobody give Andrew Wiggins no credit.
You don't have to discredit Andrew Wiggins to say other guys.
You ain't say did Andrew Wiggins. You said did Jordan Poole.
No, because we already acknowledged that Andrew Wiggins had a major role.
Right.
So we already know that he had a major role. So we don't have to talk.
Averaging 20, 25, and 5 or 25 or something. He wasn't. Don't act like Gary Payton was just out there averaging 10 points and stuff. He wasn't.
Jordan Poole averaged 17 a game, bro.
Yeah, okay.
That's nothing?
No. In the six game series, that's nothing.
17 a game is nothing?
No. So let's not.
So how much does it have to?
So Bill Russell, how much does it have to be to matter to you? Right? Marcus, Bill Russell was a bum compared to you, right?
No, we're not.
He averaged 17 a game his career.
So, but let's look at what Bill Russell did around everything, the acre of the defense, stuff like that. That's like saying Draymond Green doesn't play a role because he don't give you 17 points. Everybody played the role on Golden State winning the title because they won the title. So we're not gonna go there. What I'm putting in context is that your boy Kevin Durant is overrated and he's a bum.
But here's the thing: nobody here.
Like
I mean, Gene tried to
is a fan.
I have to defend him when you say blasphemous comments. That's like you saying to me like Andre Iguodala is a better player than Kevin Durant. I'd have to defend Kevin Durant. I don't like Kevin Durant, but if you said some whack ass shit like that, I'd have to say something.
I mean, if we're gonna go on the ring argument, I think he got more rings than Kevin Durant. So,
but the ring argument isn't the thing, because if the ring argument is the thing, Robert Horry's better than Michael Jordan.
I said that on this show.
He meant it in a blasphemous way too.
I don't think I meant that in a blasphemous.
I wouldn't repeat that.
It definitely was a blasphemous way, sir. Whether you meant it to be or not, It was
Like
blasphemous.
I told people all the time, Jordan got overhyped for three good seasons, basically. That's it. He had a good 3-year run.
I'm gonna be honest. Man. I don't know. I don't know where you were. I don't know what tape you watched. I don't know any of that. But to say Jordan had 3 good years, bro.
I'm talking about. I'm talking about he had a good year.
That's like the most blasphemous thing you could say. You have now eclipsed Freddie, all-time blasphemy. You are the king. You are the blasphemy god.
He had 2 good 3-year runs. That's all I know with Jordan.
Marcus,
2 good 3-year runs.
Last 6 full years. The last 6 full years that man played a full season in Chicago, they won the championship. 6 full years.
No, you're not.
Yes, Kyle, these takes ain't hot. These takes are foolhardy, blasphemy takes.
So let me make 2 good years Jordan had. Outside, I don't know nothing else Jordan done.
Great point, Britt. Great point. It's a lot of good points being made in the comments. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I can't see him. I might got it on something different. My fault, fellas.
It's all good. But, man, I mean, Marcus, I will give you this. You will say whatever you feel, and you will be confident in it. I will give you that.
Confident.
Now, the accuracy of the statements is another thing, but you will say what you want.
Okay.
How you want, and I respect that.
So the accuracy on Jordan, as you saying, is 100% false.
The what?
Yes.
So
you say he had 3 good years.
Jordan had 2 good 3-year runs.
No, he didn't, because he was a beast early in his career when he had no team around him. Okay. He had Larry Bird. If you go back, hold on. No, let's go back. Because you said only 6 years. Let's go back. You go back to the Celtics. What was it? Second or third year in the league? I don't remember exactly which one. They played the Celtics. Jordan would score 69 points in the game or something. He just went to flip off. And Larry Bird was like, that kid is going to be the future of this league when he get a team around him. Larry Bird said this. This was not part of that 6 years that you're talking about. Michael Jordan went on to a team where they had people doing drugs, sniffing powder, drunk all the time, and he out there balling, and then that's what the veterans doing. So obviously the first couple of years until you start getting rid of people like that, you're not going to be able to go far, but you could see his individual talent. You could see him doing what he needed to do to make the team well from the beginning.
Good 3-year runs.
Yeah.
So, what am I doing? It's 11:24 at night. I'm on a podcast with somebody that just said Michael Jordan just had 2 3-year runs. What the fuck am I doing on this podcast?
So, but prove me wrong though. He had 2 good 3-year runs.
He was MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in '87, bro. Is that not a good year? That was before those 3-year runs. He had 61 in the Garden in the playoffs.
If we only count Michael Jordan at 6-0 in the finals, to me that sounds like 2-3 good year runs. That's all I hear.
Who is only counting those years? Who is this?
That's all I hear.
That's all these people that. Hold on. There's all these people that run around and say, Jordan fans only count about blah, 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 or people like Jordan. But when has anybody said that? No one's ever said that Michael Jordan only played in the league 6 years. Everyone understands.
Y'all be like, hey.
No. I don't know who the y'all you're referring to is, but I don't.
For Michael Jordan, we revert back to the ring. Oh, he's 6-0 in the finals. Okay, so to me, he had 2 good 3-year runs to be 6-0 in the finals. Because he came in the league in '84 and he finished in 2000.
So Robert Horry had 7 good years? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, technically, yes. But he's made all the big shots for his teams, though, to get him there. So, yes, if that's the case. You can spin it how you want to spin it. But to me personally, Jordan had 2 good 3-year runs.
Hey, man, the thing is, you can feel how you want to feel, bro. It doesn't make it right, but no one can tell you how to feel.
I'm not discrediting Jordan. He won 6.
You definitely are. You definitely are.
He won 6 in 15 years. I'm not discrediting Jordan. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm doing. All I know is he had 2 good 3-year runs. That's all I'm saying.
Kyle is snapping.
Who am I? I ain't winning nothing.
Kyle is snapping.
Kyle is going off in the chat. I love it.
So Tim Duncan was only good for 5 years, apparently.
Allen Iverson was only good for 1 year, apparently.
Right. So was Kobe Bryant. So
yeah, I mean, according to you.
Yeah. So is Kobe Bryant. So was Shaq. So was
Hakeem Olajuwon was only good for 2 years, according to you.
Right.
So hold on, just for fun, because I'm just amused right now. Marcus, who's your GOAT? Like, who's your top three? What's your Mount Rushmore NBA players?
AI, Tim Duncan, Chris Webber.
He's kidding.
LeBron James, and
he's kidding.
No, I said
You're
this
joking.
before.
You're joking, bro.
No, I don't discredit Chris Webber. Tim Duncan.
You're joking, bro.
AI,
Stop.
LeBron, Chris Webber, and
that's 4 right there already.
Yeah,
that's your greatest 4 NBA players of all time.
For me, yeah, and I got one more. Who was my 5th person? I know AI is in there. And I can't think who my 5th person was, but Chris Webber definitely my top 4.
Hey, G, I got the same thoughts that you have by the look on your face, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
What, could I say Chris Webber?
I think I took some like herbal brownies before I went on the show.
What?
Because this man is tripping.
How?
I'm floating in the sky. You just said Chris Webber is better than Michael Jordan.
No, you asked me my top players.
I said who's the greatest 4 players of all time. You said Chris Webber.
My opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Your opinion, Chris Webber is better than Michael Jordan.
No, I'm not saying
Kobe Bryant.
Who's the greatest 4 players of all time?
Oh, okay. You want to go great 4 players of all time? Okay. LeBron James, Michael Jordan.
Jordan's
Tim
2.
Duncan.
Tim Duncan's 3.
Yeah, and you could toss up who you want the 4 player to be.
No, I can't. I need your 4th.
Nah, you gotta give a name, bro. We need a name. Not a toss up. We need a name.
Okay, there's not gonna be nobody current to me. So, I mean, I haven't really seen Magic play, so I can't really just say it's Magic. I'm not a Kobe fan, so I gave you.
You're not a Kobe fan. Don't mean he wasn't great.
I mean,
but no, hold on, Gene. For us, that doesn't mean that. But remember, for Marcus, that matters.
No, I'm not saying that he's not great. I'm just not a Kobe fan. It's 2 different things. And AI, my 4th player.
So AI is the 4th best player of all time.
Yes, to me.
Above Kareem, Magic, Bird.
I haven't seen Kareem play, so I can't say that.
You can go back and watch all these guys on film.
You put AI over Kobe? AI wouldn't put AI over Kobe. AI's mom wouldn't put AI over Kobe.
Hey, that's what you like.
Oh, I do know one thing. Larry Bird's mom would not put Larry Bird over Magic.
I'd put Larry Bird over Magic.
No, his mom was a Magic fan.
I know.
Was a Magic Johnson fan. Yeah, that was dope. I just like the way that was cool.
30 for 30 on Marcus. Like, there needs to be ESPN short on this.
No, you know what we need to do?
Also,
Marcus. No, we need to do. We need to get Marcus and Freddie on the show and just let them spew out all the blasphemy they want to.
I got some truth behind it.
Look, just them two by themselves, just blasphemy times 2.
My man, you just said Allen Iverson was a greater player all time than Kobe. Yeah. Allen Iverson has 0 rings. Kobe has 5. Allen Iverson has 1 MVP. Kobe has 1. Allen Iverson has 2 scoring titles. Kobe has 5. Allen Iverson has 6 All NBA first team, All NBA. Kobe has 11. Like, what?
And I want to say, I am an Allen Iverson fan, right? But he definitely doesn't belong there.
He says Chris Webber.
Yeah. See, I don't mind. Y'all so conditioned to believe one thing.
Not conditioned, bro. I watch these players play.
You know,
I'm 37, bro.
I haven't watched Kareem. I think I might have seen Magic here and there, but I haven't seen.
So why don't we do this? Why don't you watch some of those, and then we'll come back and you give us another
in my top 4.
Basketball,
another top 4.
Sport? Yeah, they still in my top 4 regardless. Like Kobe, he's good and all, but he's not in my top 4. And take that how y'all want to take it. Jordan's in there. LeBron's in there.
I'm clipping this shit and putting this on TikTok.
Go ahead. Like y'all got to stop feeding to the fact that Jordan is not the end all be all of basketball. You know what I'm saying?
But we're not even talking about Jordan. We're not even talking about Jordan right now.
You just brought up Iverson having no rings to Kobe having 5. Does that make you a better player than Iverson? No. It just means you had a better team than Iverson. That's all that means.
Kobe Bryant was a lot better player than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson barely cracks the top 25. of all time, and Kobe Bryant is in everyone's top 10. Everyone.
Not mine. So you can't say everyone. He's in a few of y'all top 10. But no.
Everyone.
I'm definitely putting Chris Webber ahead of. I'm definitely putting Chris Webber ahead of Kobe Bryant. And that's just
cool left.
So I can't deal with it.
We do any more topics? Or are we done? Because
that's it for today.
I can't.
Gene, you want to come on the show, and this is what you get.
I mean, I at least entertain myself for an hour and a half.
Yeah, this is what you get when you're dealing with me. So if he's not in your top 10, that just shows you knowledge. No, that shows my knowledge of the game. It's just that I don't feed into the same type of player. Jordan and Kobe is the same type of player. So no, I'm not doing that. I'm a Chris Webber fan. I don't have him anywhere in my top 5. I respect that, Kyle. I mean, that's your opinion, and whoever your top 5 is, I can't deny it because it's your top 5. I'm going to have players in there that I just don't agree with. But then again, the kind of players that I like, are different from the players that you like. Top 5 players, Sacramento. Brett, yeah, Sacramento. I wish we got him earlier in Philly than we got late in his career. It might have been a different story with him and AI. Maybe. Maybe we talking about them in the same light, winning the ring or two. But hey.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Marcus. I have fun.
Listen, Gene, you're welcome any Friday, but I'm going to give you the same takes and the same thing. That's just me. Ty hating.
It's been fun. It's been fun. At least no one can say the show wasn't entertaining tonight. I was entertained.
That's the thing. It's entertaining you because, you thought what I'm taking is blast, but no. For everybody out there, let's stop hitting on Chris Webber. Plain and simple.
All right, man. Have a good night, bro. Who's ending the stream?